Anand Deshpande. Remember, Nasscom guidance 7 to 9%. The conversation to him, of course, would be whether the listed peers and the larger names would probably grow higher than the 9% top-end guidance that Nasscom has given. Anand, thanks so much for joining in and speaking to us. Are we amidst green shoots in the IT business, the space at large, not just Persistent? I'll come to Persistent in a bit. How do you see the pocket now as an industry captain?
Overall, the market segments in terms of the customer scenario, I think is pretty good for the industry right now. Overall, the companies that you look at the economy, the tax rebates cuts that you have seen in the US, and in general, the push towards digital means that there is a lot of activity. On the technology segments also, some of the changes around artificial intelligence and some of the new things that are happening around the newer technologies is definitely creating lots of opportunities in the market. So I'm quite optimistic about the new business that is coming in.
Okay, so in which case, is this 7 to 9% band is for the slower companies, and do you believe that companies like yours will grow faster and better than this 9% top end?
Yeah, absolutely. We all expect to do a lot better than that. See, the challenge has not been, at least for us, the bigger challenge has been in the last few years has been the attrition on existing business, and partly driven by the fact that the effort required for the same work is going down. In terms of new business opportunities, the opportunities have been very good. The challenge in terms of the growth rate has been, is the growth enough to backfill the attrition that you see in an existing business because of the changes in transformation? So that's been the main challenge. And I think people are very optimistic, including us, in terms of the new opportunities that exist. And if we can move that fast enough, then I think it'll be good for the industry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about Persistent specifically and short term. The services business, a lot of people write about it having turned the corner and will continue to grow. What are your thoughts here?
No, absolutely. So we are on a transformation journey. I think one of the main differences that we are starting to see why the turnaround has happened is some of the existing services accounts are also looking at us as a partner for their digital business in some sense. Everything is starting to become digital. And I think by and large in some of our largest accounts, the attrition on accounts in terms of the traditional business that we had, pretty much we are at the last parts of that still going to happen. But, we start to see more positive numbers on existing accounts than dips that we have seen in the last 3 years.
Okay. Oh, so you spoke about attrition a couple of times now. Does this attrition in larger accounts or the existing accounts last for longer than a 1 year period?
I think it'll take about a year. I would give it one more year in terms of the attrition. See, it's like this, right? We are balancing the dips in existing accounts with new business that we are trying to get. The velocity of new business actually determines how fast we can move. What is most optimistic is the fact that the new business opportunities are very good. And the second thing is that the dips that we know are going to happen in our existing business, there's less of it left right now. So we are quite optimistic of the difference starting to benefit us. But it's a journey. It's not going to happen very quickly. But I think things are trending in the right direction for sure.
The deals in your digital business got pushed out. If signed in Q4, would they help drive acceleration in revenue growth quarter on quarter?
Right, so I don't want to give out any numbers at the moment, but we have a big uptake in our Q3 number predominantly because of the IP revenues that we get from our largest customer. So that number is the number we have to fill in, right? So while we will do well on the digital side, we know that there is a set of businesses that we had which have a one-time or a yearly annual situation on calendar year, end of calendar year. So we had a good quarter last quarter, partly because of many of the deals that we signed with our largest customer. That is going to be not there in this quarter. So that makes this quarter harder than it would be. Overall, as I said, the new things that are coming in well. But how much of it can we fill in from the gap from the previous quarter is still hard to determine at this time.
Do you expect to generate revenue from the reseller relationship you have with IBM in a meaningful way as it goes to customers directly? Because I believe you've added senior personnel in Europe to drive growth in that region as well, which should probably help the IBM business too. Could you elaborate on this?
No, clearly, see, as I've pointed out in the past as well, what I see at this time is the fact that now there are new shoots that in terms of new opportunities that we are starting to see. And I think this is for us the time to invest in sales and marketing. So without necessarily saying what would happen to the profitability because of that, the fact is, I think this is the time to invest in sales. And you would see more increase in sales and marketing from our side in the next 12 months. And that should have a long-term better effect right now. We had also added significantly on the European side with some executives that we have been able to get from our biggest partner. And Mike Kuklenko, who already joined, we announced. There's some more people who will join. But for the next financial year, I'm definitely looking at investing more in sales and marketing as a real specific, plan for next year. And that will usually have a lead time, meaning it will take a 2-quarter lead in terms of lag, in terms of getting the business to come in after you have added the salespeople, which might have an impact on the profitability for some time. But I think this is the time to invest in sales. I'm feeling pretty good about the offering that we have and what we can sell. So now is the time to go sell.
Okay, so if that is the strategy, would margins take a hit?
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? Meaning, but it's like this: unless you invest in sales, you're not going to see the growth happen. So at this point, we are in a stage where we think we have enough things to sell. So the best opportunity right now is to go sell. And over a year's period, of course, they should catch up by the time it takes 2 quarters for a new salesperson to be effective. But you got to start somewhere.
Okay. Slightly long-term questions, Anand, before we wrap up this interview. Last two. One, is it possible to contemplate a 12 to 14% revenue growth YOY CAGR for the next 2 or 3 years till FY21? A clutch of brokerage reports seem to be suggesting that.
No, see, it's I don't want to comment on the numbers specifically, and I think there are many wise men around us, so I don't want to say how these numbers come through. We are definitely pushing higher growth on a quarter-on-quarter basis for the business, and we think that if some of these IP revenues actually start to kick in, then you will see some better growth. So I don't want to deny these numbers, and neither do I have any real way of substantiating them. The fact is that there is a lot of uncertainty right now, and I'm not thinking beyond 2 quarters at a time. But as I said, right now my focus is that I think we have enough things to sell. Let me go add more salespeople, get all salespeople to move to sell what we have. And if sales happen, which you will know in 2 quarters, 3 quarters from now, that should play for itself, right? Growth rates, everything is all related to sales at the moment. So far, we were not sure what we would sell and how we would sell. We think we are in a better position to decide. We have clarity on what we can sell right now. So that's the main positive that I would say right now.
Okay, but if I can just dwell on that point, Anand, if indeed the strategy is to go out and sell, would margins stay at the current levels instead of moving up over the next 18 to 24 months?
Let me see how we go along. We are not going to go crazy on this. We are definitely trying to improve margins. The new business that we get, we are trying to sign up at better rates. So I think you have to look at it in multiple sub-segments rather than looking at it as one number at the end of it. And if you look at, I think this is the right thing to do right now. We have to invest in sales at the moment, potentially at the compromising a little bit on the total margin. But the key to remember is that if we are getting new business at the right set of margins, that will help in improving the margin overall. So it's a quarter-on-quarter dance that we will look at from our staffing and planning perspective. But yes, if you look forward, hopefully the sales team will deliver, and that's what we are counting on.
Okay, Anand Deshpande, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us today on Indian Open on Bloomberg Quint. Much appreciate you being with us. That's Persistent Systems.